Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Allen.
I'm Andrea Anderson. The future state prison that's planned in Lincoln County continues to face pushback from residents living near the proposed site.
Now, county leaders are joining their constituents in calling on the state to answer some questions. Parker Brown in studio with our 10 o'clock top story tonight. Parker.
Hey, Brian and Andrea. Last night, County Commissioners Joel Ahrens and Jim Gibbon met with residents to listen to their concerns on the prison site. The commission shared residents' frustration of a lack of communication from the state.
Earlier this month, a site was officially selected for the new state prison, and it took Lincoln County residents and the county commission by surprise.
A week ago, we had no idea about this. And so my first question is why? Why was this information kept from the public until right before?
And I'm going to tell you right now that we knew the same time you knew.
Now, weeks later, residents and county commissioners are asking the same questions. And after a meeting with around 50 residents last night, County Commissioner Joel Ahrens is renewing their call for DOC Secretary Kelly Wasco to meet with residents in person.
That information vacuum right now is not helping any of us. It's not helping officials here at the local level, helping the neighbors, and frankly, it's just not how we treat people in South Dakota. If we're going to tell people that this large of a project is going to be in their neighborhood and they're going to find out from a news report, they have excellent questions and they deserve answers.
The county commission has no authority in the state's decisions with the new prison site, but they have been trying to facilitate communication. They have gotten involved with hearing resident concerns, including the growing concern that property values will go down and the potential impact the prison may have on Lincoln County taxpayers.
There is no way in hell that Lincoln County taxpayers should have to pay for this prison. If the state wants to have the prison there, they better provide the money, because otherwise what I'm hearing right now potentially is the possibility of an unfunded mandate on the county as a result of putting the prison there, and that's absolutely unacceptable.
We reached out to the Department of Corrections for comment and have yet to receive a response. Weeks ago, the County Commission put in an information request to the DOC, and at this hour, they have not received a response either. They're hoping that a reply is imminent and substantive. Brian?